Good morning, I'm back and it's Wednesday and I am so happy. Why am I happy, I wonder? I'll just give everybody a few minutes to pop in and say hello. Let's just give everyone a moment to catch up with me. Guess what? We are in the process, in the midst of celebrating 21 years. I can't even say it with a straight face. We are in the process of celebrating 21 years of Visible Image. I know. I made my very first stamp back in 2004. So I can't believe I'm still here doing that. Doing this. And I absolutely love what I do. I'm so glad, and I owe everything that I do to you guys for supporting us over the many years. So it's been absolutely amazing. I absolutely love being here. As you know, Visible Image is now part of Gemporia. So yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Let's get rid of that, shall we? Let's get rid of that. So I'll just give it a few minutes for everyone else to. We've got loads of people here. I'll give a shout out to everybody here. Ivy, as per normal, she is always number one on the dot. So Ivy here. We have Tom. Hiya, Tom. We have Hazel, Dina, Ali. We've got loads of people. I can't believe how many people we've got. So thank you so much for joining. Yeah, 21 years. I know. Things have changed. Certainly changed over the years. Obviously, I used to make all the stamps myself. Crikey. Back then, we used to make them on a kitchen table, pack them on an ironing board. I know. You wouldn't believe it, but that's how we did it back in the day. We used to travel up and down the country doing shows in a little tiny micro car. Yeah, it was amazing. We had great fun, and I'm so pleased that I'm still here, doing what I love. So thank you. I will give it a few. Oh, Ellie's here as well. So yes, I will talk about a little bit about Visible Image for a second. I will have a drink of water as well. So yeah, thank you everybody for supporting us. It's been an amazing journey, and it's not over yet. It's continuing. We're growing. We're doing more different and new products, which is good. You know, we started off with stamps, then we added the stencils, then dies. Now I can't say what. I can't say. We've done paints and we've done lights as well. So yeah, we're diverging into a few different areas. So keep watching, because there's something really cool coming out for our birthday event. So yeah, do keep your eyes peeled. I'm just reading what everybody's saying. So what was your... do you know what? I've been asked this many times, and I do believe... the question is, what was my very first stamp design? And I do believe it was like a small corner stamp. Sorry, a chair getting in my way here. So yeah, it was a little corner stamp. Crikey. I've thought about actually putting that into a new set, so I might do that for next year. Would be a cool idea, wouldn't it? The very first stamp that I ever made. But again, this was like back in the day. Everything was all hand poured, small machines making them, washing everything out by hand. It was a very hands-on process. We packaged them, we cut them, we did everything all at home. Things have obviously changed over the years. Now we outsource the manufacturing to an amazing company up in Peterborough. But the ethos and everything that we do is still very much the same. We try and strive to give you something a little bit different, a little bit edgy, but meaningful. You know, obviously with the sentiments that go with it. There's a lot of thought and effort goes into that, because we want you to be able to use those sets over the years. And that will I will talk about why today I'm actually kind of recreating in a slightly modern way, or maybe trying to recreate it as I did. I'm doing an old stamp, an old card that I made, but this was made maybe 5 years ago. And as you know, your cards change over the years. Your style changes. You get better at it as you progress and create things. And sometimes when you look back on things, you wish you'd done it differently. So today, I'm going to be doing that. So I'm going to use a couple of different products. But before that, I know there's a lot of you here now. Hi, Michelle and Hazel. So I was watching the show. Dawn Wheeler did look great. She does look great. Sorry. Hazel was talking about. Were you talking about resin? Yeah, probably. I forgot about the resin. Anyway, where was I? Today, and we'll extend this. We as a company are going to give you guys a massive prize. Okay. So the first prize that we're going to give you is stamps and products worth over £100. Okay? How do you get that? Well, it's very easy, or is it? You'll have to have a think about this one and maybe do some investigating. The question will be, everyone's wondering, how are you going to win £100 worth of products? Very easy. You've only got to answer one question. And we will pick a winner on Sunday night, and then obviously we'll send out those prizes that prize next week. So the question is this: when was I first on TV? What year? Okay, so you have to have a think about that. What year was I on TV first? So obviously, being with a chance, comment on YouTube, comment on Facebook, and we will pick a winner. Okay, you got twice as much chance if you obviously comment on both Facebook and YouTube, because we will obviously collate all those and just pick somebody at random if you get it right. So that is the question. When was I first on TV? I'm just trying to look now. Michelle, sorry, Michelle. Hello, Adelaide. My brother-in-law, he lives in Manly, so I don't know how close that is to Adelaide. Probably not close. Is Adelaide north? I don't know. Geography with Australia is not my strong point, so there we go. Yeah. So today's prize, obviously, we're starting off. We're going to be giving out lots of different things over the next week or two. Obviously, to celebrate the Visible Image 21 years. Every time I say 21 years, I'm thinking, you know, I had black hair back then. No, I didn't. But you know, we were all a lot younger. Things have changed, but we're still the same. We're still at the core, creating some absolutely stunning stamps, stencils, dies, and more. More to follow on that. I'm not going to talk about that today. So I'm just reading a few comments. Yes, resin. Yes. Ivy saying that's tough. I think you're right. I think Ivy is Sydney. Is Manly is more Sydney way. Yeah. Adelaide kind of north. That's a good question. That is a good question. So I wonder whether you're going to get that one right. Whoever, obviously, if you do get it right, you're going to be in with a chance. Well, you're going to be in a very good chance of winning over £100 worth of products. That's what we're doing today. Okay. Shall we talk about what I'm going to create or recreate today? Let's have a look. Okay. So there we go. So today I'm going to be using Erika's maple. Every time I see this, I think of Erika. For those of you who don't know, this was created because a dear friend of ours passed away. She was, a big Visible Image fan, and she used to come and visit us at shows. She became a great friend, but she sadly passed away of cancer. So yeah, I created this because obviously she is Canadian, and this, I dedicated this set to her. So every time I see this, I see Erika, her smile, and quite often on Facebook, memories pop up, and every time I think of things like Ali Pali, doing shows there, I could see her running along to hug us and bring us some really amazing brownies. Yeah, it's and that's the great thing about meeting new friends and having a community, especially in the craft industry. So yeah, I think every time I see this set, I think of Erika, and it's just absolutely amazing. I still love it. I think it's a great set. I really do. It's an amazing set in its own right. You've got this gorgeous large maple leaf. Then you've got a smaller one. Then you've got some smaller leaves as well. Again, let me turn this over so you can see a little bit better. There we go. Okay, and then you've got these words. We've got falling leaves of red and gold dancing on the breeze. And then we've got vibrant, beautiful, strength, endurance. Again, very meaningful kind of words that you can use all the time, which is great. I think that's a lovely, lovely set, and it's really, really nice. So we're going to use that one today. I'm going to recreate something I made before. I'm also, because obviously on the card that I'll show you the card next, but I've also put a link on YouTube, and there may be a link on Facebook where you can buy this. If you've not got this before, you should get it, really do. Amazing set, fantastic. The other one I'm going to use today is I'm going to take maybe one or two of the sentiments from the affirmations, because I can and I want to, and I already did on this card. So let me just quickly show you the card that I'm going to kind of recreate, but this is done quite a while ago, so I'm going to do it how I would possibly make it today. It won't be identical, but it'll have the same kind of feeling anyway. So that was the card I made back yesteryear. I can't even tell when it was made, but it was a long time ago. So yeah, a very, very nice. I mean, you can see how cool that is. So obviously, background, we've got a stencil. So I'm also going to use this stencil, which is called Count Me In. Again, there is a link on YouTube or on Facebook for those products. Fantastic stencil, very, very highly detailed. Yeah, it's a gorgeous stencil that you can use time and time again for all kinds of things. Love this stencil, love it. It's one I come back to time and time again. It's one of those things that you have in your stash that you should use all the time. So those are the products I'm going to use. Again, nothing too, not too many. I mean, I could probably gotten away with maybe just using 2 products today, but I'm just going to use this because obviously you can use another sentiment as well out of the set. As you can see, that's how I used I am grateful for every day, but I could have used a number of different sentiments on here, which are really, really cool as well. So that's what I'm going to recreate. I'm just going to read a few of the comments here. Yeah, Hazel saying she loves the set. Michelle saying South Australia. Manly is in New South Wales. Okay, I'm not sure that helps me. Does that help me, Michelle? I do not know. Is it close? Probably not. I mean, Australia is such a huge country. Absolutely amazing country. Never been, but I would love to go. So that's great. So let's make a start, shall we? So the first thing I'm going to do is, obviously, this was created, this is on black card. So I am not going to do it on black card today. I'm going to do it on some white card. Again, I'm changing it up a bit and not trying to make exactly the same. I'm doing something maybe that I would have made now. So I probably wouldn't have made this the same way. Again, it's nice to be able to recreate something. And if you want to join in, if you've got these products now, go and grab them. Grab your stuff. If you're sat at your craft desk watching me, join in. And maybe we should do a craft along, which would be really cool. So if anyone is interested in doing a craft along, then do let us know. We'll try and create a bit of a craft along. I'll let you know what products I'm going to use. If you've got the same products, great. If not, we'll maybe give you a link to that. So I think we're going to do that. I think a craft along would be a great idea. I'm trying to think these things as I go. So I think a craft along would be great. Shout out if you would like to do one. We'll put that in the group as well. Right, so let's make a start. So as I said, I'm not going to make exactly the same card because that would be pointless. But I'm going to kind of reinterpret how I made this, make it a little bit different. Maybe how I would do it today. I mean, I still think that's a great card in its own right, but maybe make it a little bit different. So the first things first, I would like to do is I'm going to get the piece of card. So this time, instead of using black cardstock, because I think I've used black cardstock, white texture paste, and I think these were probably distress oxide sprays. Now, what I use today for spray wise may not be exactly the same, but you're going to get a feel for this kind of thing, but in a different way. Now, the first thing I'm going to diverse from that card, first things first, is I'm going to get maybe some pieces of. First things first, I'm going to change it up a bit. So we're just going to get a bit of book pages. This is from an old book. The only reason, I mean, obviously it's sacrilege really to rip books up, but this book was actually damaged beyond repair really. So I'm putting it to good use and upcycling it for something else. Obviously you wouldn't normally rip books apart, but we're going to do that today. Again, it's recycling, so I'm just tearing some of the pages up because I'm just going to stick these down. This is going to add a little bit of texture to the background, something that I really didn't have in this one, and I wanted to add a little bit more. I mean, it's got texture, but it's only one, so I want multi-layer texture to this. Ali's saying a craft along sounds like a fab idea. I was saying I would love but can't do it on a Wednesday morning. Finance and messy mixed media craft. Yeah, well, okay, well, maybe we'll do it in an evening. Maybe we'll do a craft along evening or something. So no, it's not set to be done on a Wednesday. It was just something I suggested just now. So I think it'd be a great idea. Again, I'm just kind of ripping this up. I'm not being too fussy as to where these pieces go. I just want a little bit of texture into my card that I'm creating. So just get some pieces, again, just rip them up, and you're probably not going to see a lot of it. It's just that you know it's going to be there. And we're just going to stick that down with some glue. So let me just get my glue out. So I'm going to use some, what I've got here. Okay, we've got some Mod Podge, so I'm going to use some of that just to stick down my project. Right, some paintbrush. Nothing too. This is an old paintbrush, so obviously you want to be careful that you don't use anything that you really love too much. So I'm just going to stick these down. Again, just get your brush, use some of the Mod Podge, and don't be too afraid to just go right over that. I just want to make sure it's stuck down. So just put this down here. And again, I probably wouldn't, you know, for a live, this is a nice little technique. So I'm just sticking this down. You just want to make sure it is stuck down before I add anything else on top. So I'm just reading a few comments as I'm doing this. No, Hazel, I do not bother checking the text. Do you know what? You know, sometimes you just got to go with it. I think this is a. I wonder if you can tell what it says. Thing is, these days you can probably work out what the book actually is, or the text is from. So, don't know whether you can see. Oh, at 63, Matt Burke. I don't know what that means there. Right, okay, I do know what it means because I've read the book so many times. So this is your guesses now as to what book it is, unless I flipped through and you saw it. This is a book which is was also a film, a series, a mini TV series, I think it was. I think it's been done a couple of times, but it doesn't really matter for this particular project because it's background and there's nothing, I can't see anything in this that would be offensive in any way. Okay. People are like trying to work out, what book is it now? What book is it? So if you've just joined us, I know there's a lot of you here. If you just joined us, don't forget there is a mega prize, over £100 worth of product. You need to work out when was my very first TV show. So please do comment on Facebook and YouTube. We will pick out a random winner. And yeah, so it's going to be absolutely amazing. All right, okay, so Michelle's saying it would take about 17 hours to from Adelaide, which is about the bottom right. Okay. Right, so again, a little bit of text on there. I might do a little bit more. We'll just see now, and we'll just see where we're going with this. It's again, it's not got to be perfect. We'll just stick another piece there, I'm thinking. Yeah. So just get your glue, plenty of it. So this is kind of like a little bit of texture in the, literally texture in the background. And again, sometimes you may see it, sometimes you won't. It depends on how, when you're spraying and adding texture paste and stenciling, sometimes you don't see it, end up seeing it, but sometimes you do. So it's you just gotta. Was this a scarier book set in a witchy town in the US? Oh, you're very yes, totally. You got that one, Ali. Well done. That didn't take long. Was that YouTube or AI that did that? One of my favourite books. Okay, so next we're going to get our stencil. Where have I put it now? Move it out of the way. I have actually lost my. No, it's not here. It's here right in front of me. Okay, so we've got our stencil. Next thing we really do want to do is we're going to put some texture paste over the top of this. Now, as you can see here, obviously, you know, it was on a piece of black. Yeah, it was definitely black cardstock. So I would have used white texture paste, and then I would have spritzed through it. So we're going to do a similar thing here, but with this time you're going to maybe see some of that text through, which will be nice as well. So I'm just going to get my palette knife, and I've got some texture paste. Getting low on texture paste, I must admit. So we'll just put that through. Now, again, from here, I did actually put quite a lot of texture paste on this particular project, and I probably don't want to do that as much this time. So I'm kind of moving a more of a diagonal. I'm not having it too much on there. Again, we'll probably see a little bit more of that text through there this time. But it's just nice to be able to do it in a slightly different way. Maybe that's the way that you would have done it yourself. I do not know. But we're just going to move down there. I'm going to have a little bit up there. Again, not being too exact with where I'm putting the paste, because we just want to have that feel of something running through that card. Just little bits and pieces there. And just take that off now. So again, you may or you may not be able to see that very closely. We'll have to work with that. I'm just going to actually put this to one side, and I'm just going to dry this off quickly. Normally you would leave it to dry for probably about half an hour. So I'm just going to dry that off. And this is one of these things where it comes together at the very end. You're kind of creating something, and it's just going to, you're just going to love it. Ah, yeah. That was it. Yeah, it is a TV. I think they've done it twice. They've done it once with David Soul, and I think they've done it with. I can't remember who they remade it with. They did a remake with it. I'm thinking Rob Lowe was in a remake. I do remember the David Soul one. Of course, we're getting old when we know that David Soul was obviously was he Star? No, he was Hutch, wasn't he? Hutch in Starsky and Hutch. Very, very long time ago. So, yeah, a very scary film. It also had James Mason in it. Yeah, not a family film. Not really. I kind of like all kinds of films. I like rom-coms and horrors and sci-fi, and I don't have a particular genre that I stick to. I do like all kinds of films. So I'm just drying this off just a little bit, just so that we can put that paste on. The paste, spray, the spray's on. Okay, I think we'll stop there. Okay, so now we have this, which is starting to look, there, you can see it at an angle there, it's starting to look really, really nice. Let's put my lid on that. Ivy saying she's more of a Disney girl. Nice one. I like that. So this is really cool. Okay, so next we're going to get some sprays. Now, obviously when I created this, I don't write down what sprays I'd used, so I'm just going to have a play. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. I'm not trying to recreate something exactly the same, but in the style of. So that's so we've got some spray. So what I've got here, we've got some fossilized amber. What else I've got? Oh, and that's in the spray stains. I've got some oxide mustard seed. What else I've got? Oh, I've got mustard seed in the spray stain. We've got barn door, rusty hinged. You can see we're kind of going autumn, very autumnal, cracked pistachio. Again, we're just gonna have a play, see what works best, whether I use all these colours or I don't. No particular order in terms of what I use first. I'm thinking the fossilized amber first, so just move this out of the way. It's kind of, I like this colour because it works really well with kind of leaves and things. And you can see that see how the texture's coming through there, like that. Very nice. What else can I use? Might use a bit of mustard seed. Mustard seed is a little bit brighter, which is nice as well. Then we're going to go in barn door. The hint of that red, I mean this may be a bit too much, but we'll see now how this works. I'm dubious. Well, no, that's good. We'll go with that. Rusty hinge, one of my favourite colours. Got a red finger now. Rusty hinge, which is one of my favourite colours of all time. Let's just clean that off just a little bit. Looks like I've bled, but I haven't. Okay, and so I do like that colour. Got all over me now. Right, this is nice, very nice. And this is where you can go back in and add colours to whatever you're creating. So we'll just dry that off a second, and then we're just going to add a little bit more in there because obviously we want it to try to. I'm thinking autumn. I mean, the leaves are already starting to fall off the trees. They're definitely, some of them are changing colour. So we're kind of going to get there. It's getting dark in the mornings as well. So yeah. So just we're drying this off. I'm definitely going to add some more to this. So I'm just drying this as we see. So Ali's favourite films are Jaws, 2012, The Rock and Lake Placid. That's a nice combination, that. Jaws, obviously 1975 with Steven Spielberg directing, absolutely amazing film, one of my all-time favourites. I'm sad to say that I'm old enough to know that I actually went to see that in 1975 at the cinema, and I was scared of going back into the water for a long, long time. So I'm just drying this on a little bit more. And I like how, do you see how the colour changes on those old book pages, which is nice. It gives that texture that I was after. We might use some green, a little bit of green in there as well, because we've still got green obviously in the leaves, but this is nice and dark. And we will use one of my favourite colours if I can find it. The colour that I'm looking for is going to be, aha, this one, frayed burlap. It's green, it's brown, it's kind of, it just kind of works. It's great for all kinds of things. Little splodges there. I like those little droplets as well. Again, you know, you can do this card any number of ways. You're not going to get the same, because obviously last time I used black cardstock and this time I'm using white cardstock. And it's nice to be able to see the difference as to, sometimes when you're creating, quite often you're going to go for white cardstock 99% of the time. But you know, sometimes going for that dark cardstock works really well. So I'm just drying this off nicely now. Oh, camera's having a fit. Yeah. So as you can see how different kind of that is compared to others. It's very different indeed, isn't it? Now, one other thing we can probably do is we can add, maybe we'll add a little bit of gold onto this as well. I know adding some richness and gold will actually work as well. So I'm just going to grab some embossing powder, and I'll see which colour kind of fits the bill. Okay, so I've got some, what have we got here? We've got some of the Wow polished gold. I'm going to use that one. What else going to use? You know, sometimes mixing things up and using colours that I haven't seen for ages. Again, hunting through your powders just to find something a little bit different. Oh, now I don't even know what this one is. This one, it says aged gold on it, and it's quite chunky in my stash, so I don't know what brand that is. I think I'll have a play with that one as well. We just kind of add a little bit more texture to what we're creating. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spritz this in just a few places, and I'm just going to sprinkle some of this powder on. So I've spritzed with some water, and I'm going to sprinkle some of this gold on just here and there, so that it kind of sticks a little bit to what I'm doing. Some of it will come off when you heat emboss it, but just add those little bits in there. So those pieces are quite chunky, and I've got a little bit of fine in here as well. So again, just sprinkle that on there. So And this is going to raise that whiteness, and it's going to give it that an extra dimension. I'm just going to heat that up now. I might have to turn that down just a touch. Oops. Well, my heat tool is only working in one speed today. Oh no, I got it. So I might have to do that from underneath. So sometimes, I don't want to blow my my embossing powders off my page because they're quite chunky, and I haven't used anything rather than except water to stick them down. So I'm heating from underneath so they kind of melt, and they're going to melt in. Obviously you have to be very careful doing it this way. And just move along. And I'll be able to show you after this is finished. Again, just turn your project round. Some will be able to heat on the top, which is nice. And the more speckledy, blobby that you get, the better, because this is going to be your background. And again, imperfection is what we're after here. I know, which seems crazy, but this is exactly what we're trying to do. Okay. So I think we're done with that there. I'll quickly just wipe my messy desk up. Just pick those bits and get them out of the way. Try and keep my desk tidy where possible. Okay. So now you can see how that's starting to look. Let's look. Move that camera in a touch. How does that look? You've got all those blobby bits there going over the top of the embossing powder. You've got the sprinkling there, which makes it really good, and it's different. Again, you know what other people see it as autumn. It's gonna. I'd be saying that maybe it was Stamp Ender. I do not know. Could be. It could be. It could be that. Maybe somebody just called it that. I'm not even sure where that came from, but there. See, that's starting to look really nice now and different. Okay. So that is kind of the essence of your background. Again, totally different from this one. As you can see, totally different. And that's what I like about it. You know, you're not going to get the same colors all the time. And, you know, doing it different there. I like having that text coming through, which I didn't have on this one. You know, both good, and they'll both be great when I've finished them. Okay. So next thing I want to do is I'm just going to get a blending tool. I'm just going to kind of do the edges of my card here, just so that it doesn't stand out too much. And I'm probably going to use some, we've got some rusty hinge, so I might use some of that. Or possibly vintage photo or walnut stain. Depends which one is going to look the best. Okay, so I'm going with my rusty hinge first. And sometimes if you find that it's just not quite right, then just go for the next colour down in terms of brightness. Now this one here is not dark enough for what I'm looking for, so I'm thinking possibly we'll try the vintage photo next. Again, I'm not bothered too much about using the same. Oh, I do like that. So I think we might vintage photo that, and also use some walnut stain. Walnut stain for the edges really does kind of give it that more of an aged look as well. So I'm just going to go around that with this, and then we can concentrate on the focal point of the card. You know, what I like about doing it this way is that you're creating something from scratch, and it's it's rough, it's ready. It does work. If you think about kind of, you know, autumn, I'm not trying to be perfect, and if it's not even perfect, even better. That's what you're looking for. So I'm just going to over the edges here, and I don't even mind creasing it up. See that? That's great. I like that creasing. It kind of adds to the kind of vibe that you're going for. It's all good. Which is why I'm not being ultra careful when I'm going around this. So sometimes you can just kind of go for it. And again, just add to that touch. So you can see exactly where we're going with this now. Again, I like that. It's a great looking background. Very, very nice. Now, what we can do if we want to, if we just want to kind of add another texture on top, is we'll just spritz it with a little bit of water in my hand, just to get some of that, to lift off some of those colours there, just a touch. Again, you're not going to see an awful lot. It's only when you look very closely, people who make cards will notice that as an added extra. So just give it a second there. And we're just going to pick up that water. I'm just going to pick that up. There. Again, you can see little droplets going on there. We've got that kind of aged and kind of look that we're going for. It's rich, but again, it's going to work, and it's different to this. I'm not trying to create exact what I've done before. Again, we want to do something different this time, something that's moved on in terms of what you're creating, what kind of thing you're creating. Again, both great in their own right, so just make it a little bit different. So next thing I want to do is I'm going to stick this down to my card blank, and then we'll move on to the actual. I'll do some stamping, and we'll have pretty much a really cool finished card. So next thing I'm going to do is I've got a card blank, so we're going to stick this to it. So I'm just going to get my trusty tape gun. Now you may not be able to see it here, but it feels great. The card feels, when you sometimes the touchy feeliness of creating your projects, it makes all the difference. Right, okay. So just put this down here. Move my stuff out of the way. I'm just looking to stick this down. Try to get a straight mark is a good idea. Straight-ish. Yeah. Okay. Now, as you can see, once you start putting it onto some black cardstock as a mat, it starts to come to life a little bit more, and that's exactly what you're trying to create. So you can see that there, how that's looking. Again, all basically from a piece of white card. You could use any colour texture paste if you wanted to, but I wanted to keep it the same as what I was using there, but as again, you've coloured that texture paste now, so it's not as bright as what it was. You can definitely add more to that as well. So next thing I'm going to do is we're going to get our stamp, and we're going to stamp the leaf. So let's just get my stamping platform. Move that out of the way. Thank you, Ivy. Yes, definitely an aged gold there, and the tub looked the same shape. Okay, cool. If it's aged gold, it's aged gold. That's what it said. I'm not even sure why it's in that little tub. I don't understand how it happened like that. Whether it was given to me or not. I mean, normally my kind of embossing powder of choice is Wow, but I do like, I've got loads. So okay, so we've got our large maple leaf, and I'm just going to use, now what I'm going to use is I'm going to use some VersaFine Clair. Now you could stamp it in black like VersaFine if you want to, but sometimes when you're doing this, it's going to look a bit too sharp and odd. And if we look at the card that I made before, that was definitely stamped in brown. So I'm using VersaFine Clay and the Acorn colour, which is a great colour to use. And I'm just inking up my stamp. Again, stamping platforms are great. So if you're new to stamping, I would recommend you getting yourself one. It will just make your life so much easier. So you can do this over here. Now, I mean, obviously I could have done what I could have done quite easily if I'd have thought about it earlier. I could have easily stamped this onto a piece of book page. I could have done easily, and that would have been another technique or another texture that I could have added to what I'm creating, but not today. I'm just doing it onto some white cardstock. Just lift it up, and look, you've got this gorgeous image. Very, very nice, very detailed. It's easy to cut out. It's not, you know, it's not difficult. We don't have dies for this, simply because we couldn't do dies for everything that we created. But you know, a little bit of fussy cuttings, not too bad. It's not difficult to do. So that is the actual stamp. Now, I would clear emboss this and cut it out, and I've actually already got one I've done earlier, just to save a couple of minutes time. So I've got one here. So this one, as you can see, how much brighter. Obviously, I mean, if you don't want it bright, you don't have to, but I think it's going to look good. See, that's not heat embossed, clear embossed, and this one is. So you've got that lovely shine going on, and I've just trimmed around the shape, and that's what we've got. So we're ready to go with this now. All we need to do is bring it to life with some colours. Again, just kind of add that kind of autumnness that we're wanting to go for. So I'm going to bring in some of my inks there, whether we use some of the mustard seed or the spice marmalade, and then we've also got these kind of like walnut stain, vintage photo, rusty hinge. Again, you know, leaves are all different colours, so have a play and just go with which ones that you think are going to work the best. I'm just getting a blending tool, and we'll crack on, and we'll just add some colour to this leaf now. So the first colour I'm going to get is, I'm going to use, which one am I going to use there? Right, I'm seeing which colour I've already got on here. So I might use a little bit of mustard seed to start off with, just because it's the lighter of the colours. And again, don't be too frightened to get over it first of all with one colour. It's not an issue. As you can see, we've got that colour going on. Next thing we want to do is we want to bring in probably some spice marmalade, because I think that is a colour that screams autumn. Look, I mean, I think I've said before, my spice marmalade is on its way out. I don't know why. Mine has always been like this. Has anyone ever had one like this? Look at this. It's like maybe you used to go to school with your sole coming off your shoe. That's what that reminds me of. Anyway, so I'm just going to go in there with this kind of gorgeous marmalade colour, and it's starting to become more of a leafy-esque kind of vibe and look going on there. Now what you will want to do is you want to add some of the colours in as well, because you've got this kind of multi-layer of colour with leaves, so it's never going to be the same thing. So a bit of rustiness in there as well. Then you can go back in with your marmalade and just kind of, you can bring certain elements to the edges there. It's a bit darker possibly on the edge. You're going to try and create that kind of golden look that you're wanting, and it's great to be able to do this. Very, very nice technique. Again, it's starting to look very leaf-esque. I'm just trying to think of whether I need another colour to go in there. I'm thinking I think a little bit of vintage photo. Just to kind of warm that down a bit. Again, a little bit of splodginess in there as well. It's not going to be perfect. You don't want it to be ultra perfect. It just brings in that warmth that you're looking for. And if you want to just add a bit of warmth there, just go back in there, because multiple layers on this is going to make it look even better, as you can see. And then we start to have something that looks kind of leafish. Again, we can spritz with a little bit of water as well. Just to add a little bit of texture to it. And again, you know, if you've got big droplets there you don't like, or you want to add to it, you can. Again, I'm kind of quite happy with this now. I think I might add a little bit of walnut stain to it, just because I want it a little bit darker on some areas. So just kind of no, it's not going to be exact. If you want to go back in with a brighter colour, go ahead. It's nice to be able to mix it, as I said. You know, you've got those leaves are in autumn are very warm as well, so you kind of got that going on, and you're never going to get two exactly the same, which is nice as well. I do like that. Now, I've got another colour which I might just find, which is called Barn Door. Now, Barn Door is another one which kind of gives it a slight readiness to it. So I'm just going to add a little bit of Barn Door to that. I'm just going over the top there with a little bit of Barn Door. Just add in a hint of red, and that's mixed with the orange, and you're going to get this kind of lovely colour going on there. There, you can see that's starting to come through. Again, you're just going to play with it. Those leaves are never going to be exact. So I think we've got something that's starting to resemble a leaf now. Again, going to be different from this one. So this one, and then you can see, but similar-ish, you see. But again, using different colours slightly, you're going to get, you can layer these up, and it's going to be absolutely stunning. So I'm just going to put these away quickly, and we will kind of start to assemble something that resembles my project from a few years ago. Okay. Very quickly, how you make a mess. I'm just reading some of the comments here. This is a really tough question. I've been trying to search online and watch you at the same time. Oh, are you trying to what? Are you trying to find when I was first on TV? Is that because that? So anyone who's joined me just now, before I finish this off, I will just let you know what the question is to win over £100. Let's just go across here. So yeah, if you would like to win over £100 worth of VI goodies, you have to answer this one question. Now you can answer on YouTube and Facebook. If you do them both, you've got double the chance of winning, of course. And it's a simple question, is that when was the very first time I was on TV? If you can get the date right, shout it out, and you'll be in with the chance of winning that amazing prize. And what a prize. And over the next week, 2 weeks, we will be adding more and more prizes. So it's been amazing. So if you've just joined us now, we are just starting to celebrate our 21st birthday. It's been a long time. And although I'm feeling older, in my head, I'm still about in my 20s. I don't know about you guys. I'm definitely feeling about 20. My body is feeling obviously a lot older. So we have a nice little leaf there. I'm just going to clean this up just on the edges here, and then we can create our card. So just move that to one side and just quickly clean that up. Okay. And we're going to bring our card back in. Now what I do like is that obviously these colours weren't the same as the leaf colours, which is nice because then this will definitely want to stand out a lot more. As you can see, it's gonna wow, it's gonna stand out a lot more than it did, and that's nice as well. So I like that. And what you want to do is you want to just bend that around a touch there. One of the things I do like to do is just obviously on the edges here. I'm not a lover of the white edges, and so now normally you'd be a bit careful like doing these edges so that you don't catch it, but today it doesn't matter because it's a leaf, so the more kind of ragged it looks on the edges, the better, I think. You know, it's not going to be perfect. That's not what we're going for. And if it's dinged a little bit on the edges, that's even better. I'm not being too fussy. So yeah, starting to look kind of more, as though like a leaf is curling up there. It's great. I think that's going to look cool. Okay, so next thing we want to do is, obviously I need to stick this to my card in a fashion which, you see, this one was great and it did work. It was great. It was a great card, but you know there were elements to it that I didn't like. So you try and do the next one is better, in my mind. Now I've got this. I got the same. I'm using the same sentiment this time, only because I want to see like how it's changed from one to the other. Maybe you want to rate, see which one you prefer, whether you like them both, which would be good. Right, I'm going to stick these down. I've got some glue. So I am using my my pin flare glue, which is a silicone glue. It's my glue of choice, as you all know, simply because it allows me to wiggle and move things around, whereas maybe your foam pads, once you're stuck, you're pretty much stuck. So I'm going to stick my sentiment down first. I think it's a good idea because what I'm going to do is I want that leaf to slightly overhang that sentiment. By doing that, what you're going to create is a little bit more dimension. As you can see on this card here, is that you see that leaf there? It goes slightly over that grateful, and that is purposely done. That's purposely done. You could have easily had it up a little bit, but it wouldn't have had the same impact, I don't think, because you want that added dimension, and that's a little trick that you do when you're creating things. So I'm just gonna stick that. I don't even know whether you can go back on VI at all to on Facebook over the years to find when the very first I was on TV. I'm not even sure whether it does that. Anyway, I'm not gonna give it away as to how you can probably find that information out. It might be harder than you think. I do not know. So we're sticking that sentiment down there. Again, it's in gold. I've embossed it in gold with a black cardstock. It just kind of it works with this because obviously we've got the black border from our black mat. Now I'm curling this up more than I did the other card when I did it before, simply because I want that added dimension that's going to go on there. Now you can't see it there. I will stick this down now, but you can see when it's at an angle there, how cool that looks at different angles, and that's what you're after. You have to create something, and I'm still going to kind of just slightly do that there. I mean, maybe you would want to add more leaves. Maybe you could. I don't think you need to. Sometimes one is enough, which is nice. Now, one other thing I might just do with this as well, before I stick it down. Actually, no, I'll stick it down first because I can. Right, I shall get my leaf, some silicone glue. I'm just reading the comments as I'm sticking this down. I'm not telling anybody if it's right or wrong, but I'm just kind of reading, no, nope. I'm not saying. So I'm just, again, just slightly having this one, just overlapping that sentiment just a bit. And I'm pressing this down a little bit more here because I want the curl. You can see the dimension of having the curl there on that leaf. Obviously, if you're sending a card to somebody, you're going to be a bit more thoughtful as to how you would send this, obviously with dimension. But this is, and I like it. This is a little bit brighter than the other one, but I think that's quite cool. And just curling those bits of edge of the leaf up. I don't want to be looking perfect. I think that's cool. Let's look at this close up now. So yeah, you can see how that kind of works there at all those angles there. Again, it's a very nice make. Not the same as the other one. I'll bring the other one in now. One made before. And if you're going to tell me that you like the one previously, that's all good. It's all good. It's all good. They're different. That's what it's all about. Now, they're not quite finished. I will add one more thing to this because I can. Let's have a look. Ooh, what have I got? Paint. Paint. Now, I did not. VI paints. I did not put these on the list. I'm sorry. I should have done that. If you want to go onto Visible Image and buy these, they are at an amazing price. These are all pearlescent paints. They've got a lovely shimmer going on with them all. 48 colours in total. They come in this lovely set. Comes with all the 48 colours and the water brush. I don't have a link to it. I didn't put the link on there. I'm sorry I didn't do that. I just thought about that now. But these are absolutely stunning. So again, it's nice to be able to have all the colours that you could possibly want. And I'm gonna use some of the colours and just flick a bit of paint there just to give it that little bit extra there. So I'm looking at possibly a little bit of copper and orange and maybe the gold colour there. So let's move this out of the way. So just put these down. Now, again, just grab yourself a nice brush and make sure you've got some water. Make sure you've loaded up your brush and your water enough. And we're just going to decide on what colour we're going to go for. Again, that's a nice kind of coppery, pearly colour. That's a very nice colour. I wonder if I can show you that one. Got some black cardstock. Yes, I do have some black cardstock. So that's, how's that look? I wonder if that zoom in on that. There we go. You can see that now, how gorgeous that looks there. Very, very nice. Very metallic, very shimmery. Very nice. I'm going to use that one, I think, because that colour will work really well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load that up there. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to just flick a few flicks here. What we're going to do is kind of flick with our, and we just want a little bit of a sparkle going on there. Just load up your brush, especially on the leaf there, and then just tie that in with the rest of the card. And that should be pretty much it. Oops, wrong way around. Again, great handy set to have. Amazing. I forgot all about that. That's probably why I didn't put it on the list. I forgot all about it. But whether you can see that yet, when it dries, you're going to get this gorgeous shimmer going on there on that leaf there, and that's what you want. Another dimension to what you're creating. So that is a project for today. I will recap now. We'll put this one together with the other one. So I'll also give the card away. So whoever gets the question right will also win obviously the prize of £100 worth of VI goodies, but you will also then get my card. So how about that? Lucky you. So let me just go on to the other camera now. Let's say hello. So which one's your favourite? Do you like them both? Do you see how different they are? Black cardstock, white cardstock, and again, just doing things a little bit different. Not the same, similar. I kind of like the colours of the leaf on that one more than that one. Again, that's just me, but I like having that added text from the book in the background there, which makes it, I think, it just adds that extra element that's not there before. This is very much more richer in terms of colour. That one's not so much. Again, this is probably maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I don't even know when this was made. Jackie's saying she likes the one on black. Tom adores them both. Yeah, well, that's it. You know, again, there's no right or wrong way about doing this. You can see how that maybe one person would make this and then another person would do it differently. I tried to do it, recreate it, but how I would do it today. So again, it's just moving in a different way though. Sometimes, you know, I'm quite partial to black cardstock. I'm working on black cardstock, but this time back to white and then doing it the opposite way round is also very nice. And as you can see, they're both great cards. Very simple to create. Those links for those products, if you haven't had the Erika's Maple, you should really get it because it's an absolutely stunning set. The Count Me In stencil, very, very useful. You're going to use that time and time again, whether you put texture paste through it or maybe you're just going to blend some inks through that or put some sprays through it. It's entirely up to you, but there are a lot of different ways you can use that. And that's what I love about this, you know, creating things, recreating things even, just like going back over something that you made a long time ago. Would you do it exactly the same? Maybe that's what you should do. If you go through your card stash, whatever you've made before, previous project, try and remake it, but remake it as you would make it today and not just trying to mirror create it, if that makes sense. I think it kind of works, you know, doing things a little bit different. As you can see, you're not going to do it exactly the same. Maybe you're going to do it better. I'm sure you will do it better and differently from what you did before. I think they're both great. What do you think? So I'm going to quickly recap Visible Image Birthday. We are in our 21st year. Oh, every time I say it, 21st year. It's amazing. It's an amazing time for me. I've come a long way. There's still a lot more to do. A lot more products coming out. But I'm not gonna just flood the market with all kinds of stuff. There are considered, conscious, compact things that you're really going to want. I've spent a long time designing new things, but they're designed to work together, and they've got life as well. So I want you to be able to use these next year, 5 years time. Erika's Maple, it's not a new set. It's been with us for quite a few years, and the reason it's still here is because people still want it, people still buy it, people still use it, people still love it. I love it, and I can't possibly see that ever being discontinued. I hope not, anyway. So thank you everybody for watching, and don't forget, 21st birthday means one thing. If you would like to be in with the chance of winning over £100 of VI goodies, you comment on Facebook and YouTube, when do you think my first TV show was? If you can get that right, see the hint there? If you can get that right, you will be in a chance of winning those goodies. So do please comment, like, subscribe to the channel. Do subscribe. Oh, I lost the power of speech. Hold on a second. Thank you. Do subscribe to the channel. You'll be notified of every time I'm doing some lives. And if you don't want to miss anything, especially prizes that we're giving out, subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. It's easy to do. And I know some people are watching on Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It helps both ways. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the project. Stay with us. We've got lots coming over the next week or two. And I'll see you soon. Take care now. And don't forget, we will pick the winner on Sunday night. So you've got until Sunday to obviously watch the video again. Decide on when you think my very first TV appearance was. I've been talking too much now. I need to go. So have a nice evening. Have a nice day, everybody. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.